It is Friday, and last night I moved to an Airbnb, and the one I'm gonna stay for the second part of my trip in Peru. So the first part of my trip I spent at my mom's house, and the second part of my trip I am spending alone at an Airbnb in Miraflores. If you're familiar with Lima, a lot of things happen in Miraflores. It's like the place to be if you want to go to the beach, abajo to La Costa Verde, and it's a place to be if you want to be near restaurants and coffee shops and art galleries and all those kind of things. Within this trip, this is my first time since moving out of Lima that I have rented out a space for myself and that I'm not staying with a family member for a little bit. And I really wanted to just be by myself for a few days because I wanted to paint and just live life as if I would live here and see how that feels for a few days. I arrived last night, and this morning I went to Pilates. I'm going to a new studio while I'm in Miraflores because I'm in a new district, and I went to the art shop and got a bunch of stuff that I needed. And I also went to Wong, and it's a supermarket, and I got groceries. And then I had my silent work together with my Patreons. We painted together for an hour online, that painting that I've been working on, and I'm gonna be painting all day today. I'm doing lunch. I got 2 tamales at Wong, and I'm also boiling some choclo, ¿cómo dices choclo en inglés? Some corn, Peruvian corn, and queso fresco. So I'm gonna have choclito con queso y tamalitos. And then I'm gonna be painting all day. Ahí están los choclitos, el tamal. I have to say, I feel there's not, honestly, I feel there's not a better feeling in the whole wide world than getting comfy, taking your bra off. Is taking my bra off and taking my rings off as soon as I arrive home is my love language to myself. I feel there's nothing better in the world. Palo Santo. I've been painting these shower paintings since I arrived to Peru, and I've wanted to paint this for almost 2 years, and I finally gave myself the time to do it. So right now I want to finish the 5 circles. It's a color degradé from gold to red copper. So I'm doing the whole color degradé in the center, so I want to finish those. Maybe after that I'll go to zero waste shop and then come back and work on the background. But let's see how it goes. Sitting down to paint hasn't only been nourishing in itself, but it's also been a form of meditation. While visiting my home country and my family, a lot of feelings arise, and to sit down in meditative painting has been a wonderful way to process, feel, integrate everything that I've been living while being back home. a practice I want to keep prioritizing every time I come back to my homeland, and honestly, everywhere I travel, if possible. As you can see, there's construction going on next door. There's pretty much construction going on next door everywhere in Lima. I finished the 5 circles that I was working on earlier today, and now I'm gonna go to Barranco. I wanna go check out the shop called Misha Rastrera that is sustainable zero waste. I also wanna go looking for a bigger ruler than the one I have, because I've decided that I'm going to make a quadricula on my painting, and I need a bigger rule, or a bigger rule will make my work less than half the time than the smaller rule that I have. So I'm gonna go look for a ruler, go to Misha Rastrera, come back, and from there I'm gonna be doing some lines in different angles in the painting. I'm gonna be working on those, and then after that I'm gonna add the background, which I know the color of the background for a very long time, and I'm so excited to finally see it. I don't think I'm gonna get into that today, probably tomorrow or the day after, but let's go to Barranco, shall we? After returning from Barranco, I decided to stay in and keep working on the grid for my painting. I had been talking to one of my friends to go out dancing with her and her friends. They were all going to Discophobia, which I've wanted to check out for some time, but I chose to stay home, draw, and go to bed early. A heavenly Friday night plan. Before continuing with today's vlog, I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace has been the virtual home of my website, art portfolio, email campaigns, member areas, online shop, and so much more since 2018, and I cannot recommend them enough. If one of your 2026 goals is to build an online presence for your creative projects, Squarespace has everything you need to help you launch your passion projects online. From fully customizable, award-winning website templates to online stores for your products, services, or both, Squarespace is the one place you need to share your creative business virtually. Squarespace and I are partnering up to offer you a 2-week free trial, and once you're ready to launch, you can use the code Caro Arevalo to get 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain with them. And now let's go back to our vlog. Good morning. I am about to have breakfast, and I'm so sorry about the noise, but there's construction everywhere. And I don't know if you've met chirimoya, but you can tell it's the best fruit in the world by just seeing that it's heart-shaped. This is the reason why I am alive on Earth. You might have heard that people come to Earth for a reason. There's something they need to do here. I believe that I came to meet chirimoya and adore her flavor. And if I could marry a fruit, I would marry chirimoya. And I would declare my love out loud to the world because it's the best fruit that I've ever had. And When I come, I try to eat chirimoya every day. I sometimes have a whole chirimoya for breakfast, but nowadays I've been having half of it. And this is the first night that I wanted to sleep a little bit later. Today I don't have Pilates and construction started, so I ended up waking up early anyways. But I wanted to show you some of the things that I got yesterday at the zero waste shop that I went to. It was more an apothecary than a zero waste shop. I wanted to get some dish soap that is not the one that I have in my Airbnb, but they didn't have it, but they did have other things. So they had bulk herbs, and I got some toronjil. I actually had some toronjil tea last night and I slept amazing. I also got, I already used it, but I got a soap, a body soap made out of coca. This is a handmade soap made out of olive oil, coconut oil, water, and coca leaves. I used it in my shower this morning and it's great. I also found, this is in another shop, Passiflora. I found this brand of skincare and makeup called Awake. It's a Peruvian brand, and I got some rose water for my face. I always use rose water. And I also found these plant-based eyelash mascara that has chia and ricino in it, and also by Awake, the Peruvian brand. I got my sister-in-law and her husband a local coffee from Huancayo, Junin, and I really like the presentation and the whole explanation they gave me about the coffee. I'm gonna be staying with them for the third part of my trip, so this is a little thank you coffee. And I also got a journal from the plant Misha rastrera, which is Datura stramonium. That's the name of one of the shops that I went to, and I love this color paper. So this will be my new end of 2025 / beginning of 2026 journal. So it was a very, very productive stop in Barranco. Today, Ivo and I have lunch and get together with his best friends and their partners. And that is still in a few hours. So today I want to eat this chirimoya, organize a little bit my space, and then I want to go back to Barranco, which is the district where I went to the shops yesterday. I want to go there to go see the art studio / shop from my friend Cristina Silloni's, which is closing today. Today's the last day, so I want to go there to just see her and say yay to new beginnings. Right next to it is my friend's sister's coffee shop that I want to go support. And there is an art show by indigenous artist Lastenia Canayo from the Amazon in Peru, and I want to go see her work, which is amazing. And then I'll be going to get a dessert to bring for our get together with friends. So very long day, but I just wanted to check in, say hi, and tell you if you haven't eaten a chirimoya, you have to go ahead and do that right now. making time to work out, pasear por las calles, walk around the streets, watch the ocean at the malecón, and journal for a bit, have slow mornings, and just go around my day-to-day rituals and routines was everything I needed to reset and restart visiting Peru during the holidays. I am learning that there isn't just one way to be present for loved ones, and prioritizing a couple of days to regroup myself and my feelings was the best medicine for me to then keep celebrating and being able to be present with others. I feel I owe it to myself to also acknowledge I want a trip to just be about me, meeting myself in my hometown at this age, making time to know what I like to do here alone, and how it actually feels to come back after a long time. Even though I'm here to also be with family and with friends, I feel I can show up in such a different way when I'm spending a little bit of time alone, and this was a gift that I wanted to gift myself to. This was something that I wanted to gift myself to move a little slower and get a very small idea of how it would be to live back in Lima and have my own space instead of being in someone else's space. And it's been so beautiful, and I'm very excited to be now starting the third part of my trip, which will be staying with my husband's family and celebrating the last chunk, el último cachito de tiempo here in Peru. So I'm gonna go to bed because I've been journaling for a little bit, and I have Pilates tomorrow very early in the morning before being here. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and thank you once again Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Feel free to check out my Patreon and my Instagram and new videos which I post every other Sunday here. Ciao!